Hello and welcome to Bubba Jord's very first episode of Wrestling News, where I will discuss all news stories that I've got in front of me that I feel are big news stories for this week. First off, from AEW, the next edition of AEW Battle of the Belts is set to take place on the July 15th episode of Collision. Battle of the Belts is a special event where all AEW title belts will be defended, or the majority of them at least, and Ring of Honor belts. It will take place at the Calgary Stampede Stadium in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. The episode of Battle of the Belts will see 3 title clashes take place. In the past, belts such as the ROH World Champion, AEW Women's World Champion and International Champion have all been defended on the show. Second, it has been reported that nearly 75,000 tickets have been sold for All Elite Wrestling's All In pay-per-view at Wembley Stadium at the end of August. AEW's inaugural presentation across the pond will be the first pro wrestling show in Wembley Stadium since SummerSlam of 1992. Former AEW Tag Team Champion Anthony Bowens has called for United Kingdom fans to break a record, a Guinness World Record, by having the world's biggest scissor party. And in a tweet where he said, "Hey UK, we should set a Guinness Book of Records for the largest group scissor in the world." The Scissor Me explanation became popular among AEW fans in 2022 when the acclaimed Bowens and Max Caster created the Scissor Me Daddy Ass catchphrase for Billy Gunn, who had teamed up with them at the time. Number 3, we've already covered that, but let's just give a solidified number. This is the final story from AEW. More than 74,000 tickets are now reportedly sold for AEW's All In, according to a new report. There's nearly 75,000, there's more than 74,000, so they're almost there. Now from the WWE, shall we go there? I think we shall. Carmelo Hayes has invited all of the Judgment Day to NXT next week. And in Finn Balor fashion, later that night on NXT, he accepted, and Judgment Day is going to be at NXT next week. I would personally like to see Judgment Day and Schism have a little interaction. Kevin Owens, in other news, Kevin Owens said it hurt a little not having a match at Elimination Chamber. During a recent interview, Kevin Owens explains, Kevin Owens explained the importance of wrestling on shows anytime WWE tours his home country. It means a lot to him because patriotism, and when you're in your own country, you just want to be on the card regardless. Number 3, Ricochet has challenged Logan Paul to meet him in the ring next week on Raw, following another breathtaking moment between Logan Paul and Ricochet at Money in the Bank. Ricochet has called Paul out for a face-to-face with him next week on Raw. This also solidifies reports that Logan Paul vs Ricochet is in the works for SummerSlam, and WWE is set on having them face off at SummerSlam live from Fort Field in Detroit, Michigan. Bloodline Civil War took place, and boy was it amazing. It was a spectacle worth an Oscar with some of the storyline writing that they did produce. Now where's this going to go? Well, this is going to Friday night on SmackDown this week, where they're going to be having a tribal court, and the Usos will host that. Now, is there going to be a match set up for SummerSlam between one of the Usos and Roman Reigns for the world title? Or is it going to be Solo versus Roman? Or are we going to see a return? Who knows? More closer to home, Money in the Bank was a successful show. Here's the runtime for all the matches. So Damian Priest obviously won the Money in the Bank ladder match for the men's, and the runtime for that match was 20 minutes and 25 seconds. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez defeated Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey after Shayna turned on Ronda, and the runtime for that match was 9 minutes. The Intercontinental Championship match, Gunther defeated Matt Riddle via submission in 7 minutes and 45 seconds. Cody Rhodes defeated Dominic Mysterio by pinfall in 8 minutes and 40 seconds. Io Sky defeated the ladies in the Money in the Bank match there with a very genius way of handcuffing Bayley and Becky Lynch to each other through the ladders to grab the Money in the Bank briefcase, and that took her 18 minutes and 5 seconds. Seth Rollins defeated Finn Balor via pinfall for a World Heavyweight Championship in 12 minutes and 30 seconds. And the Usos, Jey Uso, pinned Roman Reigns to defeat the remnants of the Bloodline, Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa with Paul Heyman in 32 seconds and 10 minutes, making the Bloodline Civil War match, which I will give a 5-star match for the presentation of it, the longest match of the Money in the Bank card, with the shortest match going to Gunther and Matt Riddle. So well done, guys. Well done, WWE, for an amazing week and an amazing Money in the Bank premium live event in London at the O2 Arena. Now, this is just a rumour that we're being reported. WWE might be planning a huge legend of ECW to be entered into the Hall of Fame in Philadelphia next year. The rumor says that it's an ECW original, it's an ECW, it's essentially the father of ECW, Paul Heyman. Philadelphia is known as the home of ECW. And do I want to see Paul Heyman go into the Hall of Fame? Yes, I do. I think Paul Heyman's career in the wrestling industry speaks for itself. The amount of time he spent in the wrestling industry, the amount of work he's done in WCW, ECW, WWE, working for Vince McMahon's dad. Paul Heyman has literally done it all. There is no one Paul Heyman hasn't really worked with on screen or off screen. He ripped SmackDown in the early 2000s after the brand split and Stephanie McMahon was the general manager. He was sort of the head writer there, and he ripped storylines for guys like Edge, Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle, The Big Show, Brock Lesnar. He's worked with guys like Ryback, Kurt Axel, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, again, who's most famous for working with. He's worked with Steve Austin, RVD, Tommy Dreamer, the Dudley Boys, Sandman, Sabu, Raven. The list of names that Paul Heyman, his career has touched, is astronomical. It really is. Paul Heyman is the most successful WWE personality, manager, commentator in WWE history. I mean, he always used to say he used to rub JR the wrong way on purpose because he knew he was doing it. Or he would nudge a photographer to get the money shot. or all sorts of other things. Paul Heyman deserves this accolation, and I know that Philadelphia will accept this as it's well deserved. But a thank you, Paul Heyman, is well deserved from the fans around the world. Yeah, he might be a sleazeball on screen. He might be a slimy kind of guy that you want to hate, but the work he's done and the work he's put in and everything he's done for the WWE and all the other promotions he's worked with in the past, I would love to see Paul Heyman go into the Hall of Fame next year in Philadelphia. Well, I'm also going to come out and say, I know a lot of people don't like Logan Paul in other news, so this is just another piece. I know a lot of people hate Logan Paul because he's a celebrity turned wrestler, but let me ask the question: how many celebrities turned wrestler have done more than one match in a year, where each match they've had a major spot? So in his first match, he done the frog splash. That was his first match. He went to the top and done a frog splash, worthy of Eddie Guerrero ratings. And that was against the Mysterios, where he teamed with the Miz. Then he faced the Miz at SummerSlam of last year, and he done a table dive. So he put Miz through the table. So he was kind of comfortable with doing that kind of stuff. He done it again on Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia, I believe it was. Only he filmed the video for it. And then he done the spot with Ricochet in the Royal Rumble. Then at WrestleMania, another table dive, only this time it was KSI who was getting put through the table, just as a bottle of prime. And then in the Money in the Bank ladder match, he did botch it, but you knew what they were going for. But they ended up going for something a little bit different that was still an eye-popping spot between Ricochet and Logan Paul. Logan Paul is up there with in-ring talent, and he's up there on the microphone. So put some respect on Logan Paul's name. Also, LA Knight is another guy who's coming into his own, and I believe he's going to be facing Austin Theory in the near future for the US title. I've seen reports of that. We shall see. We've got to get around to SmackDown this week. So, I will be producing news stories from all wrestling shows for the next week, and it will be uploaded like this one every Thursday. And that's it for this week. So I thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Go and look at my website. The link's down below. If you're watching this video through my website, go and follow my wrestling, Bubba Jord Wrestling. I think it's Bubba Jord Pro Wrestling TikTok, but I'm going to change it to Bubba Jord Wrestling News. Now I've got all this set up. My TikTok and everything else should be that way of the video if you're on the website. So thank you for watching. Please stay safe, enjoy wrestling, and have a good week.